That's important to mention. And that's when things started spiraling downwards. And we have to, like, step back also and realize what is the context that we're around. We're talking now about the time of September 11th, the attacks that happened. That impacted the whole world, and whatever was, during that time, President Bush, at that time after 9/11, he initiated a full-blown global war on terror. And they tried to, they opened the floodgates to various things, including human trafficking, including torture, and also they also put money bounties particularly in Pakistan. They had money bounties. So you can bring in somebody and you say, yeah, this is a terrorist, you'll get tens of thousands of dollars or more, sometimes $250,000. It's a lot of money. And there was no accountability also. The US was giving the money, they were getting information and people back, but there was no accountability. And unfortunately, when you have corrupt people on one end and and us on the other, bad things happen. That's why most of the people in Guantanamo, they're innocent. Actually, at that time, the president of Pakistan was Musharraf, and in his own book, he said that more than half of the Guantanamo prisoners were literally sold for bounties. Innocent. He actually says it himself, subhanAllah. So these are the corrupt people that we're also dealing with there. And then there's also, each Pakistani officials, they're getting paid thousands of dollars. Sister Aafia, once we go forward, the person, whoever gave that up, that was around $50,000 US. So this is like the war on terror. That's all in the context. You have to keep that in mind. And everybody's, they're trying to. Oh, here at home, I'm sure some of you, many of you remember, they were trying to, get anyone to, because they need to justify their war and what's going on. So there's a lot of money involved, a lot of finances, and so later on, she also then basically what happened to her after her divorce. And the war on terror is happening, and her husband also conspiring and spreading lies about her with the authorities. She was on her way to Islamabad to start her professional life. Islamabad is another city in Pakistan. It has a different type of, it's a little bit more north. On the way there, she basically got stopped and kidnapped, human trafficking, which involves different entities. And so she was basically human trafficked into Afghanistan. And no one knew what's going on, where she was. She was trafficked into there, and during this time, also Bush opened, there's Guantanamo Bay, and there's also other cells around the world that they were trying to get different, get suspects, possible suspects, and, torture and all of these things were happening in these places, subhanAllah, for many years. And so in Afghanistan, they also had these things going on. So she was basically stuck in Afghanistan at that time, for some years. In those years, she also she told the lawyer that she was raped 5 times. I know it's very sad, 5 times, and witness other women also over there getting raped. And then later on, she was released in July 2008. Mysteriously, they let her reappear on the streets of Afghanistan, And at that time, they also they had a plot to kill her, but by the qadar of Allah, she was protected by the assassination attempt. But she was basically taken into custody from the Afghani government, the national police there. And once she was taken in, the U.S. authorities also, they found out, and they basically went there. They wanted to interrogate her, and also they wanted to take custody of her. So what happened there is important to know, and a lot of, you will hear a lot of different stories about Aafia many years ago. This case is very old, but alhamdulillah, during the recent few years, we've had a blessing, and it opened a lot of evidence and proofs that she's totally innocent. So what happened in that police station there, that when she heard the U.S. soldiers there, and they wanted to, interrogate she basically got showed her face over there, and at that time when she showed her face, one of the soldiers started shooting at her. She was shot 2 times. Okay, the story that they paint is that she picked up one of the soldiers' rifle, and those things are very heavy. Put the safety lock on and out, and then she started shooting at them. But there's evidence actually now that's there from video footage of the place, which shows no bullet holes on the wall, and also the residue from her her hands and her body had no gunpowder on it. So there's a lot of new evidence out there, and they also have eyewitnesses as well involved. So it's important to note that she basically was shot, and then but the officers there, the soldiers, they want to protect themselves, right? That's their thing is that if we get caught shooting civilians, we're gonna be gone. We're gonna be caught up, and especially at that time where it was really bad. There was different documentaries about what's really going on, and civilians being hurt and killed. So due to that, then basically she almost died in the hospital. After she stayed alive, they basically transported her back to America. So they took her into America, and she was basically put on a trial. And the trial is basically, they claim that she shot at them rather than the other way around. And by the way, there was no bullet wounds, gunshots. The only person who got shot was Aafia, was our sister Aafia. It was September 23rd, 2010, 14 years. She was sentenced to 86 years in prison. Okay, normally this thing, it should be 10 years, 15 years, if she were actually guilty. But for her, and because of this war on terror, things became different. It became something else. It was basically life in prison. And let me make it clear. Let's make it very clear. There is no terrorism charge at all. And this is something that, a misconception that was spread throughout the Muslim community, to think that, she was involved. No, she was never involved in this. In this, and also, even in the case, there is no terrorism charges at all. Okay. And then so later, she's now here at FMC Carswell. Which is dedicated to women. It's supposed to be there to help treat, women. It's a medical center, but it's like the opposite. There's so many cases of neglect. There's so many cases of abuse. For those who are young, maybe you should close your ears. I know, like even over there, she said she was raped 2 times. You have to believe it, because there are so many cases over the past years. The same thing. There's people right now. I think it's like around 12 people, staff members who are on trial or who have been filed either sexual assault or rape. So it's there. It's active like that. There's a lot of, even if you are a whistleblower and you're trying to bring it up, they'll put you in solitary confinement or try a way to retaliate against you. So even like in 2014 to 2018, there were 35 reports of women saying they were sexually abused by staff members. And keep in mind, the actual numbers are much more, right? That's just the way it goes. It's even worse over there because you're all alone. I mean, for Aafia, she's actually in solitary confinement. No other person actually has been in solitary. No other woman in the federal system has been in solitary confinement for 14 years. She's even in a worse place. But if you retaliate or if you say anything, there's no one to protect you. So there's a lot more cases than even what we know of. And now she's, subhanAllah, 52 years old. She hasn't seen her children. And she's gone through an immense amount of struggles over the last, 20 plus years. and undeniably, who is currently, we call her the most oppressed woman in the world. And this is why. And there's a lot more to this. Subhanallah, like the lawyer explains it so much more, and there's so much details that we don't know yet. We're saving. I mean, there's going to be a lot more out there soon. And what we have to do, very importantly, is our duty to be there on the side of justice, especially for us living in the DFW community. She's in our community. She's not just our brother, our sister in faith, but she's our neighbor, right? We have to be there for her. Actually, inshallah, she's passing the test. She's going to pass the test. We have to ask ourselves, are we going to pass the test? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing us as a community. If we are going to be silent about this and just stay at home or stay out of it, you have to ask yourself what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to say to you on the day of judgment, to say to us as a community on the day of judgment. So remember that, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free her, and we do believe that she will be free very soon, inshallah. But we have to be on the right side of history.
Jazakallah, Brother Umar, for taking us through her story. And I hope a lot of that information is new for you guys, because honestly, whenever we try to look online for the information about her story, there is a different kind of story that we hear, especially on Wikipedia and all those resources that we normally use. And it's very important to understand, when she was abducted, she had with her 3 children. Her oldest children was Ahmed. He was 5-year-old, I guess. And then the daughter, she was 4-year-old at that time. And then a son that was 6 months old. And they say when they abducted her and they throw her son, they snatched her from her lap, they throw her on the ground, and his fate is never known, and most probably he couldn't make it and he died at that moment. So it's very tragic, That's why I think every one of us should feel that pain that she has gone through, because, she's our sister in Islam, and we need to start taking actions so that we have some excuse to make in front of Allah Ta'ala on the day of judgment, inshallah. With that, I would like to invite Sheikh Asif to give an Islamic perspective on why we as a Muslim should care for this cause and strive to help her. So, Sheikh Asif, please throw some light.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakumullah khairan for both these speakers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. So I had the honor of meeting Dr. Aafia's family multiple times, alhamdulillah. I actually went to Karachi 5-6 months ago, and I was invited by Dr. Fawzia Siddiqui, her sister, to come and meet her kids. Now, Dr. Ahmed, Dr. Aafia's son, have become doctor, alhamdulillah. He's Hafiz of the Quran, lead Taraweeh every year in his home. I have the video also, doing Khatm al-Quran. Then her daughter, Maryam, who was kidnapped with Dr. Aafia, and for years, no one knew where Maryam is. And then all of a sudden, she was living as a foster with Christian parents. After years, all of a sudden, she came right in front of her house, wearing cross locket, after 8 to 9 years, in front of the house of Dr. Fawzia. Can you imagine the trauma which he must be going through? And the third son, Suleiman, most likely he was killed at that point when they were kidnapping Dr. Aafia. Wallahu musta'an. I'm connected to Dr. Aafia because I was raised in the neighborhood of Dr. Aafia in Karachi. We both were raised in the same environment. When I was in Massachusetts, my masjid, Worcester Islamic Center, was just 30 minutes away from MIT. So Dr. Aafia used to teach in our masjid, the Sunday school. Obviously, it was before I joined. Also, Dr. Aafia was extremely active in the community of Massachusetts, as I heard from the adults in the community. Obviously, she's way older than me, but I heard great things about her, mashallah. You all heard the story, so I don't want to keep repeating the story. Before I can say that what it have exposed from us, I just want to tell you, this is the treatment she's getting here in our backyard, right? Have you ever noticed on Fox or CNN that they are concerned about Afghani girls not getting proper education? They are concerned about Muslim girls not getting proper education. Right? What they are doing with Muslim sisters in their own backyard, no one is discussing that. And please, if you want to cancel me right now. Malala Yousafzai seems sad that Afghani government is not giving Muslim women chance to educate. Yet, her and her Western counterparts are quiet when more than 200 schools, including girls' schools, are being destroyed in Gaza. Because when it comes to following the Muslim men, you have a problem. When it comes to following a man from particular background, you say Sami'ana wa ata'na. All it have exposed the hypocrisy of women rights, human rights. These are the attractive terms the civilization have used to humanize other civilization. And this is how you treat the woman? If you are concerned with Muslim women, this is how you treat Muslim women? So whenever anyone give you lecture, whether that kind of Muslim or non-Muslim, about morality, about human rights, about women rights, bring Aafia on the table. Is this how you treat Aafia? Where are your criminal rights? Okay, you say she's a criminal. Where are your criminal rights? Is that how you treat your criminals? So that's first thing. But what we have done, it started with the own Pakistani people. Parvez Musharraf have sold his own daughter just for $55,000. He himself said in the book, we sold Aafia for $55,000. I know he passed away. But I won't say R.I.P. I would say, may Allah give him what he deserves. Say Ameen. You know, there is a poem by Dr. Muhammad Iqbal in Farsi. I'll say in Arabic because I memorized in Arabic. I didn't memorize in Farsi. He says, Kun Ibrahima fil imani. Kun Ibrahima fil imani. Kay tuzila ma'abid al-awthani. وَالذِّئْبْ يَأْكُلُ يُوسُفَ خَيْرُ اللَّهِ وَالذِّئْبْ يَأْكُلُ يُوسُفَ خَيْرُ اللَّهِ مِنْ أَنْ يُبَعْ لِتَاجِرِ الْأَبْدَانِ. He said, be Ibrahim alayhi salam in the level of Iman, that he destroyed the idols of his time. The wolf which ate Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, the wolf which could have eaten Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, is way better than the wolf which sold Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Did you get it? The brothers who were they were real wolf. So the Pakistani people kidnapping their own daughter, selling their own daughter, they were much worse wolf than the wolf which could have eaten Dr. Aafia. But then we in DFW community and in America love to criticize foreign governments, right? Let's discuss about ourselves also. Look at how many people here are here. Alhamdulillah, it's a good crowd for Friday. I know how much people will come on Friday night. If I will open a halal restaurant in Richardson, we'll get more people like than this. And I have to give benefit of the doubt. Maybe no one knows about Dr. Aafia. It's 21 years now. But is this the concern? May Allah protect our daughters. Say Ameen. If this will happen to our daughter, will we show the same concern? DFW community, as Brother Omar said, we have double responsibility. She's not only our Muslim sister, but she's in our backyard. And these things are happening in our backyard. We have double responsibility. Now what can be done? And if you will allow me, are we going live? I don't want to be live with this. Because there are a few things which I want to say. And please forgive me for my candid, blunt approach. For last 2 or 3 rallies I attended for Dr. Aafia, it's 1-hour drive. Apart from last rally, 150 people, 100 people, And by the way, Dr. Aafia is listening to us when we are there. Because we say, free Aafia, free Aafia. So she said to her attorney, I'm listening those. And on that particular day when you guys are outside, the prisoners are treating me well. Last time, maximum we got 250, 300 people. Is it befitting for DFW community? We have 600 people in every big masjid praying Salat al-Isha and Salat al-Fajr. You know, to the brothers who identify as Muslim activists, love to do fundraisers for sisters' shelters across the world, you're doing great work. But your own sister is being abused in your backyard. Are you doing something? I know it's sour, right? It's bitter. But we have to take it. I know Sheikh Umar and Sheikh Yasser, mashallah, they actually supported this cause of Dr. Aafia. May Allah bless them. Ameen. But where are the other students of knowledge? Where are the other imams? We need to ask ourselves, and as an imam I'm saying this. Then the biggest thing, where are sisters who advocate for women's rights in Muslim community in Dallas? I know we have concerned sisters. We have an active group of sisters who are advocating for women's rights in Dallas community. Any harassment and they will going to take the case in their hand. Your sister is being harassed. Is Dr. Aafia not your sister? Or maybe you are working on a different agenda. I know these are tough questions. But what Dr. Aafia has exposed? Dr. Aafia have exposed our inaction. Gaza, kids are being butchered. It have exposed our inaction. We won't even go for a protest. I hope, inshallah, I hope that I can convey the pain in my heart that next rally, you should schedule everything around it, that no, I cannot miss this. This is happening to my sister. I was not aware. Now I will go with my family to show my support and solidarity. Will you do this? Inshallah ta'ala. It's 1 hour drive. You won't get any honorarium. In fact, you might have to give to the cause. But wallahi, it's all worth it. Because I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala release our sister Dr. Aafia. Will make this dua, inshallah. But if she is released without you making any effort for her, wallahi, you will have a lifelong regret. And God forbid, al-i'yadhu billah, if she died in that prison, then the regret will be quite worse. So move right now. And with that, inshallah, we're going to make dua that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for her. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for her family. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give Dr. Ahmad and Dr. Maryam a chance, inshallah, to get reunite with her mother. And then eventually, inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunite all of us, inshallah, gather us all of us in Jannatul Firdaus bi-iznillah. With that, inshallah, we'll take our questions and then I'll give mine.
Yeah, sure. So thank you so much, Sheikh Asif, for such enlightening thoughts about our sister. So I would like everyone to ask if you guys have any questions about her story, about her case. Please, this is the time. You can raise your hand and ask questions. I can actually begin with one of my questions I had for Sheikh Asif actually. So Sheikh, you had a chance to meet the children, right? Ahmad and Maryam. So how was your experience like? How are those kids? Because we hear the stories about Dr. Aafia Siddiqui. And actually I was so impressed by and guys, there is a video on YouTube. It's from the 1991 ICNA convention where she's wearing a yellow kind of hijab. I would recommend go and watch that video. And I think she was only 18 or 19-year-old. I tell you, you will not believe a 19-year-old lady, a Muslim lady, has such a strong confidence that she is showing in that video. So I was amazed and shocked. We are like 30-plus-year-old and we're still not even close to what she was at that time. So tell me about her kids and how was your experience and what kind of human being they are, and like, just if you can.
Wallahi, I was surprised, and I'm not kidding. I remember the story of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. I'm not kidding. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam got imprisoned by his own people. He was kidnapped, then he was sold in another country, and then in another country he was imprisoned for the things which he never did in his life. Same thing happened. And just like Yaqub alayhi salam had to feel the separation, Afia's mother, Dr. Afia's mother, used to say, now she passed away 2-3 years ago, she used to say, I'm feeling the same pain which Yaqub felt for Yusuf. They took me to the mom's room, by the way. Her mom's room had one musalla, all the books, Quran and tafsir. Dr. Afia was if in our time we could say Dr. Afia was a good sister scholar. Just FYI. Just listening to that speech of 1991 Economic Convention, she was the only sister speaker talking about feminism. She was way ahead of her contemporary. And I have stories where we can even see that how much knowledgeable she was at that time. When I met the kids, I was surprised that the kids had so much confidence. I did not have enough confidence to bring that story up. I was just trying to exhaust. They requested me not to share the pictures, although I have a picture with the kids. But they asked me not to share because of some reasons. But I was really happy. One thing which surprised me, and I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that may Allah give us all patience like that, the amount of patience which the family manifested, it's incredible. So the day when, in 2010, when they announced that Aafia was going to get 86 years, the entire Pakistani media went into the house and asked Dr. Afia's mom that, what's your reaction? She said, it's in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahi, these are the words of a woman who have not met for 7-8 years her daughter. This shows very strong faith, subhanallah. So when I came out of that house, I said that only this family can survive this kind of a stress. That's what Allah is testing them. We would have been crumbled completely. So amount of faith, and look at her sister, Dr. Fawzia. Such a woman. If we are in trouble, Clive, Dr. Afia's lawyer says, if we are in trouble, we need a sister like Dr. Fawzia. She's a Harvard graduate, by the way, right? She's a Harvard graduate, neuroscientist, medical doctor. But you know what? She's running this movement, Free Aafia, alone by herself, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's support. And she's raising her kids and the kids of Dr. Aafia without any differentiation. I did not feel any difference. So I felt that I was in my family. I did not feel that I didn't know them. And I really hope, inshallah, that one day Dr. Aafia can come out and we can see them reuniting, bismillah.
Jazakallah khair, Jazakallah khair. So before going to any other questions, if you guys have, can you please take out your phone and scan that QR code? There is a very quick action that you guys can take right now. There is a petition that needs to be signed, and we have almost like 500,000 signatures, and we are targeting to get at least 1 million signature. That's a clemency petition that we are working on to get her clemency from the President Biden, because he's leaving right now from the office. And then we have the WhatsApp group. Please become part of that group to stay updated on all the events and things happening about her case. And yeah, just join the movement. And as we all said, like, let it be an excuse for you to present to Allah Ta'ala on the day of the judgment. All of your efforts that you are doing, the 1 hour drive that you might have to do in future for the protest, let it be an excuse for you, inshallah, that you can make that at least you have done what you could have done. And inshallah Ta'ala, she will be free soon. So any other question for Brother Umar or Sheikh Asif from the audience? Okay, so yes, please. Yeah. So the thing is, her lawyer Clive Smith, he is working on multiple fronts for her case. That is one part of it. And be it so. Few days back, there was a delegation that came from Pakistan. They have like senators and 1 or 2 ministers. They had some meetings in Washington D.C. with the congressmen and congresswomen, and they are trying to raise the awareness for this case and have as much attraction as we can, for this case. So as you said, this is not the only thing. There are so many things that are happening on the back end, but these are the things that we as a layman, as a common man, we can do for her. We can sign the petition, we can write letters to her, you can write letters to her lawyer, and he sends those letters to Afia Siddiqui. So these are the things that actually, common people like us, we can do.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask. Thank you for that. But yeah, the clemency is for now us in America. The clemency is number one. The clemency basically it's an email that's sent to the there's a assistant who handles the clemency, and she actually when the lawyer actually met her in D.C. and she could feel that there's a lot of pressure. Alhamdulillah. So it's working. We need more people to do that. It's a very simple thing too. It just takes like 1 minute, and less than 1 minute, subhanAllah. Right now, the clemency deadline, of course, it's coming up this month. So right now, the strategy is push the clemency, also the petition that's there. That's very important too, because the public pressure is very important. Even if you have all the proof, and already the evidence is all there, subhanAllah. And you see this in other cases too. Evidence is all there. We have our other brother, Imam Jamil al-Amin. He's been in prison. We have the evidence. But it takes more than the evidence. It takes public pressure. And that's where we have to come in as a community. The public pressure is really important. So this is a strategy right now from the lawyer until the clemency ends. If we don't get the clemency, then there is a big strategy afterwards. Because alhamdulillah, this lawyer has found out a lot of different secrets, things that governments do not want to hear because there's a lot of dirt that can come out from this case, subhanAllah. So there's a lot more until, but for us, like he said, we need to focus on the clemency email. This is a pardon that we're asking by Biden, and he can do it. He freed his son. He can free Aafia, and also he needs to also his whole he's still alive. He has maybe some life left, and right now he doesn't have a good repertoire with the Muslim community at all because of what happened with Gaza. So this also gives him an incentive to kind of try to bridge, some of that relationship with the Muslim community and leaders around the world.
So yeah, thank you so much again for everyone to showing up here for her cause. And inshallah, become part of this community, become part of this movement, spread the message among your family members, among the people that you know. And inshallah, stay updated and try to be there whenever there is next thing happening about her case. May Allah bless you all, and may Allah accept your presence over here today, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.